Volkanovski versus Lopez 2. This is a real heater, a real great card here, yeah? Great main card with lots of very high level guys, especially the early prelims are just something of legends, Of legends here. Uh, now, all jokes aside, I think they're giving a lot of like Australia and New Zealand guys some shots at being on their own Sydney card, but it does seem like a lot of them are kind of just not interesting to even talk about because they don't have fights in the UFC or they don't have very many fights in the UFC, and it's just kind of pointless to speculate on that. So
Yeah, they're all road to UFC guys.
yeah, like we're gonna watch them. Obviously, everybody's gonna watch them. We're all gonna tune in for this Paramount free card, um, this free per view. Um, but I'm really only betting on like the prelims. I feel like. So starting off with Oban Elliott versus Jonathan Mikalev. This is one that is definitely kind of in the same vein as the early prelims. I feel like this one's like neither of them have a crap load of fights. With that being said, I bet on Elliott. So he's coming off of a loss, unfortunately, but it was only via decision versus Jonathan Mikalev, who is coming off of a couple of a decent win, his first fight in the UFC. I just think that Oban Elliott's going to have a little bit more, time in the UFC. He's got more time in the UFC, so I think he's going to be the guy that finishes this. Not finishes. It's actually going to be a decision, in my opinion. I know I say I never pick on uh, decisions, so I'll change it to knockout for Oban Elliott. And I think that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, I don't even know who Jonathan McClough is, to be honest with you. But I know Oben Elliott's like decent. I know he's not horrible, so I'm pretty confident on him winning.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, as I just don't know enough about Jonathan. Anyways, Torres Finney versus Jacob Malkoun. So for me, this is a light heavyweight fight. Torres Finney, I
It's
believe, has
middleweight.
is it is a middleweight. I don't know why I said light heavyweight. I'm thinking of the next one. I think.
You were
No,
just one
what am I
off.
thinking of? I'm thinking of a
You
different
were
one.
just one off.
Yeah. Anyways, he's got Torres Finney has a couple of good wins, really. Me and Isaac were talking about how boring he is before we started filming, but I do think Torres Finney has enough wins in his column to go ahead and take out Jacob Malkoun. Jacob Malkoun's lost against like guys like Brennan Allen, Corey Brundage, these other guys, Phil Hawes. I think he's just kind of not as good as Torres Finney.
Um, I'm picking Jacob Maldon just because his name's not Torres Finney, and I absolutely despise Torres Finney, and you will never catch me picking him. And that's it.
All right, all right.
I'm just not. I just can't support him.
Uh, you know what? It is what it is, man. It is what it is at this point. Um, all right. So next we got the Cam Rouston versus Corey Brundage, a guy that Torres Finney has fought. Like we said, we got Cam Rouston, or we got sorry, my fault. Cody Brundage that is coming off of a loss and then a decision, decision draw, a a win and then a no contest and then a loss to Bo Nickel. I feel like Corey Brundage is just not that guy. He's just not that guy at all. And we got, the Cam Rouston, this new and up and comer, doing the same thing that they did with Bo Nickel. They're feeding him Cody Brundage just to get him a good win. That's really how I see this fight. Is just trying to get him a good win. He's one fight into the UFC, off of Dana White's Contender Series. So Dana White probably wants to feed him a little bit. It's kind of how I
Yeah,
see
I
it.
I agree. I remember watching him on the Contender Series and thinking he was pretty good, and I'm pretty sure he got like a pretty good finish. It's been a while since that though, but I'm pretty sure yeah, he was really entertaining. Yeah, and he fought Andre Petrosky. Yeah, he's got some. I think he's pretty good for like just coming in, but I think he's gonna blow right by Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah, KO first round.
yeah, yeah. Next we got Junior Tafa versus Billy Elakena. So for me, I'm picking Billy this one. I think Junior Tafa is just so inconsistent. He's got a lot of losses, a ton of losses really, and I feel like it's one of those again. he's one of those guys that you kind of feed your up and coming fighters to just kind of get him a win. Billy has lost against Bogdan Guskov, which I mean that might be a little bit indicative, but he also won against Ibo Aslan and Kevin Christian versus Junior Tafa, whose record against Tuco Tacos is a loss. He lost against Walter Walker. He lost against Lima. He lost against Kamaru Usman's little brother. I mean, he's losing against these guys that I'm just kind of like, eh. I mean, why did you lose to them?
I think Junior Tafa is absolute garbage, and if you lose to Kamaru Usman's brother, you just need to leave the UFC because he is the worst fighter in the UFC. And if he's the worst, and you're worse than him, then you're actually the worst. So I'm going to Billy. He actually got a crazy knockout in his last one. He's actually pretty smart. I think he's actually all right. I don't think he'll ever be anything special. Well, that came out mean, but I think he's kind of all right.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Quillen Salakil versus Jamie Mullarkey. For me, what I look at this is, again, it feels like there's a lot of feeder fights on this card where like they kind of know one of them's gonna win. They know one of them's gonna come in as a major dog, like not dog, favorite, a major favorite. Quillen has a couple of wins against other guys on the scene, other guys that you really wouldn't even know their names for real. And I think that Jamie Mullarkey is another guy that you really wouldn't know his name that much. He's been fed to Mauricio Ruffy. I mean, that's just like one of his most recent ones. He won against Rolando Bedoya, which was like its own thing. But I think it's going to be a round 2 knockout for Quillen here. I think that Quillen's kind of being fed a little bit, try to boost his clout a little bit.
I have the same prediction, but I will say that I'm still not completely sold on Quillen Salkild because 2 fights ago, so not his last one, but the one before that, he was going. It was a war. He almost got knocked out. He was on the ropes for a little bit, and then the fight after that, I'm like, all right, they gave him a tough fight. Let's see how he does with this. And then he gets a knockout with like one of the first punches, which is like, yeah, he did that. That's good. But still, he didn't really get tested. So I wanted to see him tested before I'm completely sold on him. Because so I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he's like that amazing yet, like some people do. But I do think he's gonna win this fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Jamie kind of looks like Patrick from SpongeBob.
Kind of looks like he's like holding that face like on purpose.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit. No offense to him, he probably would whoop us both. But anyways, Tai Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira. So Teixeira was supposed to be fed Derek Lewis. That's how good Teixeira was. It was a little bit of a weird circumstances at the end of his. A lot of people said early stoppage against Lewis. I think Tai Tuivasa's on his way out. I think they literally are giving Teixeira a fight against Tuivasa again to feed him, to try to regain some hype, get him back in the conversation. Tai Tuivasa's on his way out, unfortunately. No matter how much we like Tai Tuivasa, I think Taliesin Teixeira is going to knock him out in the first round, just like
Dude,
Teixeira's done for a while. What'd you say?
I hope Ty wins. He's a really cool guy, but he's on like a 5 fight losing streak, bro. He is
Mm-hmm.
not winning this fight. Yeah, I think that Texera is actually pretty good. I think that he's like a good ranked fighter, top 10 maybe. Ty needs to retire.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Ruffy. So the thing about Ruffy is I think that after his last loss against BSD,
Pretty sure it's Huffy, isn't it?
is it Huffy? I always said
Pretty
Ruffy.
sure.
Maybe it is Huffy. If I say it wrong, then I say it wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but at this point, I think Ruffy is kind of like taking his stride. He's going. He went back to basics. He actually is training in Australia now, if I'm not wrong. I think he's training with Volk now. Um, taking back and like going back to basics, trying to reform everything. He's not training with the fighting nerds anymore. And I think that at the end of the day, he is not quite ready for what Fiziev is. I think that Fiziev is going to go out there. because we've seen Fiziev knock out these dudes. Like I mean, yes, he has losses to people like Gaethje, Gamrot, well Gaethje twice, but he also has a lot of like good wins too, like a win over Moicano, win over Green, a win over Dos Anjos. He just recently won against Bahamundas. Like these are good wins that he has, and like he's not like. I mean, some of these he's like really knocking them out and styling them. Some of them are decision, but I think Fiziev is still a solid character, and Rufi is kind of in a rebuilding phase. It feels like Rufi should have taken somebody a little bit lower on the rankings after that loss to BSD. Not that BSD's a bum. I mean, BSD's great. I really think he's going to be in the top 5 here soon. Um, but like, I just think that like, for now, Rufi's not ready for this.
I agree. I think that Fiziev's actually pretty good and he's pretty technical. I think that he's just outside the elite area, and I think that he's an excellent fraud checker. Or not that it's going to be a fraud check because it's Fiziev and he's ranked number 9, but I think he's a great like. If you're not ready, you're not beating him. Basically, is what I'm saying. I think that he's actually really good. I think that he would even piece up Patty Pimblett. That's the comparison I've been saying lately. I think he would beat Patty.
I mean,
So
that's
yeah,
possible. He wouldn't knock him out though, because Scousers don't get knocked out.
I think he'd win every round.
I think he would win every round. I think Patty just needs a couple more fights. Really, I think that low-key
I
Justin
think he needs to
Gaethje.
put his hands up.
Yeah, like Justin Gaethje, even on his way out, is just a dog, bro. That's that people don't
With
realize.
staff too.
Yeah, with staff, but I still think he's a dog. I just think he's an absolute dog. I think that's just who Justin Gaethje is. You know,
Yeah, but he's like also not arguably top 5 in his own division.
I mean, yeah, but I'm also just saying, like, I think that Gaethje's a dog. Patty didn't do a ton wrong by losing that. I don't. Anyways, that's another debate. Back to the UFC 325. Dan Hooker versus BSD. So here's how we feel. Or I don't want to speak for you actually. Here's how I feel. I feel like Dan Hooker is a great guy, but I don't think his heart's in the UFC MMA world anymore. I mean, I've seen some clips of him talking on podcast where I'm just like, you still even want to fight? Why don't you just retire, bro? Like the way you're talking about it, like why don't you just retire? And so I think that his heart's not in it. I think BSD's still trying to climb the ranks. Like BSD's pretty young still too, yeah. I'm pretty sure he is like 31, 32. Yeah, 31. Yeah, he was born in 1995, so he's 31, which is like pretty young. I mean, I think he's still able to climb his way back. I mean, BSD used to be like somebody who was really going on a warpath until that loss to Poirier and Moicano. And I think he could get that back. I think he's trying to get that back, and he's got some good wins under his belt most recently. I mean, Dariush, Rufi, Prepolek, these are good wins, and I think it's gonna be enough to get Dan Hooker out of there. I picture it as a knockdown from BSD. Dan Hooker's on the ground. BSD rushes him, submits him somehow, just like with a bully choke or like just some back take or something like that. That's kind of how I feel like a lot of BSD's fights go in my brain.
Yeah, that's kind of how I picture. I kind of picture like a flash knockdown, like nothing too crazy, but then Benoit just like swarms him on the ground, and either just like while Dan Hooker's getting up, he snatches the neck, or he like forces him all the way down, and then gets a submission somehow.
For
I got
sure.
submission round 2 for BSD.
That's exactly what I had, didn't I? Isn't it?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that's what I said. I thought I said submission round 2.
This is the
Anyways,
co-main.
this is the co-main. That was the
I feel
co-main.
like all co-mains should be 5 rounds.
Is it not? It's not 5 rounds, is it?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. They should be 5 rounds. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't think this fight's going to go 5 rounds either way, but it would have been cool to
Yeah,
have
I
it at
know.
least slated as a 5 rounder.
It
Uh,
makes it add like more like weight to the fight.
oh,
I
for
feel like.
sure. For sure.
Or they could do like something like if one of the fighters is like rank number 5 or above. I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah, like all of them are like not even a co-main. Just like if they're ranked 5 or above, they're always a 5 rounder.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be good too.
That would be nice. I think it would kind of change up the game of MMA though, to a degree. But I think it would change it in a good way. So
I
I
feel
like
like
that
yeah,
idea.
because like then they're more prepared for when they have to do a main event.
Yeah, agreed. It wouldn't be just like the co-main main, whatever, this or that. I think that Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong should have been 5 rounds. I feel like that didn't
Yeah,
make sense that it
definitely.
wasn't.
They
That would
should
have
have
been a
offered him more money for more rounds.
yeah,
Been like, all
100%.
right, you guys are moving up to the co-main. We need you to do 5 rounds. Is that okay? We'll give you more money.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure they both would have accepted it too.
They would have. All right. Anyways, next we got Volk versus Diego Lopez. This is the fight that everybody's kind of watching for. I mean, this is the only one that really matters. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like it really matters. I see it going about the same as the last fight goes. Diego Lopez really does have a little bit of knockout power or knockdown power. I could see him, get landing something really nice on Volk and possibly finishing that way because Volk is old now and his chin has been cracked a couple of times. But I don't actually think that's going to happen. It could, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to go the same way as it did last time. Volk is going to just be better than Diego Lopez because Volk is still the GOAT at featherweight. Not arguably, I was about to say arguably, he's the GOAT at featherweight. And he's going to just piece up Diego Lopez for the 5 rounds, and he's going to end up with the decision. If I had to guess on a finish, a real finish, I guess I would have to go with some type of knockout in Diego Lopez's favor, but I don't think that's going to happen again. I shouldn't even be putting this out in the world, bro.
Yeah, what are you
Volk
doing,
is just
man?
going to win. Volk is just going to win. He's just going to win. He has to.
Yeah, facts. I got Volk by decision. I agree with the Diego Lopez assessment. I think that Diego Lopez is gonna fight better during this, and he's gonna try to cruise for a decision more than a knockout. Like he's even said that. But I just think that Volk, like you could even see, just as the fight was going on, Volk was getting his timing. He was doing better and better and better, and now he's fighting him again back to back. I think that Volk's got him figured out. Volk's gonna be able to stay safe. He could get hurt, but I think that he's gonna be. I think that he's gonna be good enough to where he's gonna survive. And I just think that Volk's gonna be able to cruise.
Yeah. I feel like that's good. We're trying desperately to break the Brody and Isaac curse, where whenever we pick the same fighter, they always lose. It has happened every time we've picked the same fighter. We're hoping that we break it this one, because this would be a absolute travesty. And on top of that, Ilya versus Gaethje got announced for the White House card, rumored. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. I don't think Dana White's gone on his Instagram lives and told us yet.
It probably will happen though.
It
It
just
better not be the main event, bro.
What else would be the main event? Pereira versus Jones? I mean, I don't see
I'd
where.
rather see that.
I want to see McGregor come back and fight Chandler or somebody
I
of
think
that
no, they should do
that
McGregor
caliber.
versus Patty.
McGregor versus Patty would be pretty sick. And then, a. But neither of them are American, so I think they're going to do a lot of American fights if they can.
No, I think Dana said he doesn't care about that.
Oh, you know what I
But
just
also,
realized?
Dana says a lot of things though.
Gaethje is our American champ again. He's interim, so it kind of doesn't count, but he's still an American champ for the men's division. Does that
Yeah,
mean America has it
paper
back?
champ,
Do we have it
paper
back
champ,
now? I think we still
paper
have it
champ.
back. No. Yeah, no, he's getting flatlined against Ilya, unfortunately. Our king is getting flatlined.
Minute and
Gaethje's
37
the
seconds.
highlight. 37 seconds, is that what you just said?
A minute and 37 seconds, and he's getting flatlined. That's my prediction.
Wait, how many seconds is that total?
97.
97? Okay, then I'm going to say a minute and 7 seconds.
Okay.
How many seconds is that total, Isaac?
We're gonna move on to the next topic.
No, how many seconds is that, Isaac?
Anyways, I don't know if you know this, but
But what?
my bad, my stepmom came. Um, I don't know if you know this, but Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur is also happening on the same night. Do you care about that? I'm gonna say my prediction. I
Wait,
think that Shakur is gonna win, but I want Tia to win. Yeah, that's my entire prediction
yeah.
because I care less about boxing.
Yeah, yeah. Also, guys, I was referring to this amount of numbers.
Okay, you're done.
If we can get 67 likes on this, the curse will be broken. 627, I mean 627. We're not getting 67. If we can get 6 or 7 likes on this video, the curse is broken, and we can pick on the same fighter every time now.
And if it doesn't happen, then whoever didn't like the video, it's their fault that lost if he loses.
Yeah, it's not our fault. It's their fault.
Specifically their fault.
For real, for real. Okay. Anyways, see ya.